racers, where not only the full-bodied, but the open-body drivers know they're going to get their share of mud before the day's over. But so does the camera crew. The Spring National Jamborees at Allen County Fairgrounds in Lima, Ohio. Some of the racers call it the track is too tough to tame. Shane Ballard in the near lane of the Pork Brothers Express will be going up against the Jeffersonville, Kentucky school teacher, Stanley Trimble. Trimble takes the win, but it cost him not in the pit, but in the shutdown area. And it slow rolled when it came out of the pit. Meanwhile, the safety crew on hand, along with Shane Ballard, runs over. You can see the other driver getting to him. The teach is okay, but he will be staying after school to put it back together. Well, I'll tell you what, for a school teacher, I'm glad you don't teach driver ed. Are you okay?
I'm fine, Jay. It's easy to roll over. It got a little left. I knew it was left, and I should have let it roll, but I got on the brakes a little more than I should.
What exactly caused it?
I hooked a little rut right in the middle, and it came hard to the, well, really to the right, left from where we're at here, but it came hard to the right, felt like. And when I come through the lights, you can see my tracks, they just came out here, and I got on the binders too hard, and should let it roll out. There's plenty of room. Inexperience, not enough.
No, we're glad you're okay.
Thank you.
Now, the very same race, just a few passes later, Tony Farrell and the Blue Ribbon Bandit came out. This time, Tony's in the right lane in an open-body car. Now, you might recall, in Jake Battle in row 3, Tony's the one that literally blew the tires off. But today, he just rolls it for you. Guys always got to show up. Well, Gary, as you can see, the safety crews were Johnny on the spot. They talked to the driver. He said, I'm okay. George Carpenter and the crew decided just to immediately go ahead and right the vehicle back up. Ironically, on the back of the car, it says this end up. He didn't follow his own directions here. Real quick, you going to be okay?
Oh, yeah, we'll go back. We're going to get ready for tomorrow.
What caused it to let go like that?
I started getting a little sideways. I knew I was got road track. Started to stab it and pull myself out of it, and it just didn't work.
We'll let you go see the EMTs. I'm glad you're all right.
Thanks.
What Tony means when he's talking about burping or hitting the throttle, if you can break the tires loose out of the mud, it'll spin the vehicle out. In this case, the tires did not break loose. They bit. Couldn't keep that side up. Now, in a very similar looking incident, this in the paddle tire class, Shane Back in the far lane had his share of problems again in the shutdown area. Back made a move and burped the throttle right before the finish line. That planted the vehicle. Then he came out into the soft stuff trying to hit that throttle again. It wasn't a work for him. Shane Back moving around in the pit. I had a chance to talk to him. Another day at the office here. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just got a little swirly out there, and I'm trying to go for that record. You know how it is.
What about the starting line? They worked the starting line, softened it up a little bit. Did you get a good bite on the starting line?
Yeah, I feel like we had a good bite on the starting line. The car seemed to work pretty well. I noticed when I pulled up the line, I had a little bit of a fuel leak, but we went right on for it.
I'm glad to see you're okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I can imagine sitting in one of these vehicles knowing you had a fuel leak, but then again, that's what it's all about. It's a short ride, but it's a thrill ride. Beating the odds. The name of the vehicle that comes out is owned by Rob Marshall. The big question this year was, can he beat the odds? Because Mother Nature now, in another year in time, has muddied down the shutdown area. We've seen what the dry shutdown area do. Let's see what happens with the mud monster on the other end. The results, my friends, are the same. Drivers hitting the throttle, trying to plant the vehicle. They just weren't going to work for them. The body's blown off, so you can see the driver climbing out. He is okay. All the safety equipment works. Hey, just another day at the office in Allen County, Ohio. Replay comes up on the screen. You can see the driver in the lane closest to us making a good move, but notice the wheels up attitude in the far lane. He is really making some horsepower. Now the vehicle starts to slide, a slow slide to the left, near the JoJo barriers. The driver's not on the throttle. He'll hit the throttle late. Now he hits the throttle, but the body's gone, and he is on his head. So Rob Marshall proven beyond a doubt you cannot fly a 23 Ford in the Buckeye State. Let me work my way over to the driver real quick. First of all, are you okay physically?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Why don't you go ahead and start taking your helmet off, let the EMTs get with you. He's checking the damage on the vehicle. The chassis is twisted, it's bent. but the roll cage did hold up and protect the driver. But again, I want you to notice just exactly how muddy it is. We'll get them to pan the camera straight down. I'll show you. That's what they're trying to stop in right there. And that's causing some of the problems out here today. Well, the Allen County Fairground, known for some of the best AMA flat track motorcycle racing, that'll take place on the track. Right now, we're on the infield, and I tell you what, the infield, if you had a song, could be called Dead Man's Curve. Al East comes out of Pennsylvania with the Beef Tea Blue vehicle and took an awesome ride. Keep an eye on him. Hook it to the right. Once he makes his move, three-quarter track goes over the berm. Now he's on the throttle trying to get it back on the ground. It didn't work. No. It rolls back right side up. Al was okay, but showing that once you hook a rut in this Class 6 competition, those big scooper tires, the vehicle basically has a mind all its own. It was not a slow roll. The driver was on the throttle. As you can see Al climbing out now. The driver was on the throttle trying to get it back on the ground. It just wasn't to be. Boy, these people from Ohio get to see all kinds of great races. Let's look at the replay again. A good run till about three-quarters of a track. Now he's in trouble. It hooks on him, and he is along for the ride. And at this point, he nails the throttle, trying to get it to settle down, but it's not going to happen. The bite is there with those big scooper tires, and Al goes on his head. Another Buckeye Bandit.
Well, now it's going to become a convertible.
Al, how's that make you feel seeing all that work go? I know you're cutting up and everything, but right now I got to be honest. I think you're kind of in shock. How does it feel seeing that thing go away like that? A lot of work there, and it's just going down the tubes.
Well, it's going to be a lot of work the next 2 weeks here. I hope I can get together and have the funds and the help to get it back together. I think we can do it. If you put your mind to anything, you can do it.
Well, if you put your mind to the wildest ride that I've ever seen, the most violent wreck that I've ever seen in the sport took place in Lima that very same day. Tom Martin in the near lane pulled up against Rodney Covington in the far lane. Two heavy hitters in the sport going nose to nose. Covington pulled the feet out of the water. Now he's in trouble. Covington's arm flailing around inside the vehicle. The driver's okay. Now watch his left hand. Starts to fall down on him. Getting your bell rung. That's a perfect example of it. Keep an eye on the right side of your screen. It's a good heads-up run. This is what the sport's all about. Both vehicles a little bit out of shape. Martin exits to the left of the screen. Covington tried the same thing. Now he's got to gas and go. But keep an eye on his right hand. Can you see the arm coming out? The safety restraint, pulling that hand back in and keeping him from getting caught in the roll cage. That's one lucky guy. Well, Rodney was indeed transported to a hospital. They said he was going to be okay. That's more than we can say for the vehicle. As you can see, completely demolished. The big question was, would we see him again? And lo and behold, a year later, look who showed up in the pit area. This time with a big picture of Curly, or was that Mo or Larry on the back of the helmet? He retained his sense of humor, and he was ready to go racing. You know, in racing, you never know what's going to happen. For an example, David Whitehurst comes out in the 48 Fiat, that's the first vehicle, stops, and then backs into Dan Richter. Man, you talk about lack of respect for your fellow competitors. Look what happened here. He didn't just back into him. He's going to throw a little mud on him. That's adding insult to injury. But that's mud racing.